Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. I'm still a little bit sick and trying to get over this, so no face cam today. But let's see if I can give you guys all the news because there's just a ton of things going on for Kaspa and we need to get straight into it. So to start off, let's take a look at the prices for today and kind of see what's going on with the crypto markets. So far, Bitcoin has just been, again, still consolidating. As I've said in the past, the markets right now are currently waiting for the new CPI data inflation report to come out next month. On top of that, they're waiting for interest rates to be coming out soon. They're possibly going to be pausing next month, which most likely is going to be the case. Currently, there is an 82% chance that the interest rates for the USA is going to be pausing. They're also predicting that they're actually going to be pivoting, completely pivoting by November. There's a 51% chance that they're going to pivot in November, but so far it looks like they're going to pause next month, and then for the next couple of months, they're just going to keep it at that same rate. I personally think they should keep it until the end of the year, but we'll see what happens. For sure, next month looks like the interest rates are going to be pausing, and then the inflation data hopefully comes in lower, which again would make Bitcoin very bullish. This right here is the interest rate hike date where they're going to possibly pause the interest rates, and it looks like we're building up to that date. And if you look at the past, I don't have all the lines here, but every time we had CPI data reports, the Fed interest rate reports, we had pumps on like every single time those releases were coming out. So it looks like Bitcoin is heavily correlated to the macro data concerning this. We also have the debt ceiling issue in America, which they're trying to negotiate right now, which I think they're eventually going to come to a conclusion. There's no way that they're going to let the USA default like that. I think that would be very careless on their part. I'm pretty sure that they're not going to let that happen. I think all the issue with this being a different time and it's possibly going to happen that the US is going to default. I think it's all for click and views, and this is like happening every single time. Every time the debt ceiling crisis comes into play, it's always the end of the world. It's going to be chaotic, and eventually they come with a solution. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Always be prepared. Make sure that you guys are diversifying your portfolios. You're not going all into one crypto. You don't have all your money in crypto. You do have some savings. You do have some cash. You do have, just make sure you diversify. Don't hold all your money into crypto. So let's take a look at Kaspa here. So far, Kaspa right now is currently at the 0153 area. So we've been dropping pretty low. Our volume has been declining as well. And again, the markets are just waiting. There's really no news for the markets to be moving up a lot. And you could see that we're finally getting into this little area here where a lot of people were saying that they wanted to start buying or dollar cost averaging in once it's in this area. Personally, again, I'm always buying pretty much every single week, and the RSI is currently under 30. So that means Kaspa is super oversold, super oversold. So I know a lot of people are calling for 1 cent Kaspa, which is totally possible if Bitcoin is not able to hold itself anymore. But ultimately, Kaspa is very oversold on the daily, still a little bit overheated on the weekly. The RSI is only at 49, so it's not typically when it's still in the 40s, high 40s, it's still a little bit overheated. I would like to see it at like 45 or lower on the weekly already. But either way, on the daily, it's looking like time to start accumulating. It's under all the moving averages. It's going into this little channel here. And again, this is the date for the Fed interest rate pausing. So it looks like we're building up to that. And I'm pretty sure the whole entire crypto market's most likely going to be booming after the announcement that we're going to be pausing. That's going to be bullish. But just remember, I think once we pivot, once the Feds decide to pivot, typically historically the markets always crash. So again, personally, I don't want to be buying any more Kaspa after 5 cents. So if it's under 5 cents for me, I'm happy buying. And I think this is a perfect time to just be dollar cost averaging in. This is not time to be going all in. It's good to spread out your buys. Don't go all in. All right, next, we got to talk about this Bitmain situation with the ASICs coming out. So recently, Son of a Tech had posted that on mobile, it was showing that it was going to go for $100,000. And I saw a lot of people actually predicting that it's going to be really expensive. And this ultimately is still not true. As you could see here, there's no price tag. I don't know what we're waiting for. As of recording, I have not found that the price is confirmed to be anything yet. There's been other third-party companies that have been listing this at like $24,000. And you could look down here, Woofy over here said that one of my Bitmain contacts told me it's a placeholder, as in just auto-populated web template before the actual price and sale goes live. I believe it, however, that would have been nice for Casper price. Still, it's going to be 5 digits no matter what. Seems like online mining equipment vendors show 23,600. So this is what it's predicting to be. And there's been a lot of, just crazy accusations that this is just going to kill Caspa. This is the end of Caspa. And it's like, guys, if you study Caspa, you read all the research papers and all the wiki and all that, you got to look into it and do your research on it. You'll find out Caspa is totally built for ASICs. It needs ASICs to survive. Now, I know the argument is that, oh, well, this is going to decrease decentralization because, only a couple people are going to be able to get this. Well, if it's $100,000, I would agree. Yes, decentralization is probably going to be an issue in the beginning for a little bit, but the prices are going to go down. And if they are actually going to be around the 23,000 area, then that's a lot cheaper. And a lot more miners are going to be able to afford it. And if they sell, let's say like 2,000 of these units, as long as not one person is buying up everything, then pretty much decentralization is going to stay. And no matter what, the network is built so that decentralization is going to be encouraged. And people that have lesser equipment, they don't have this miner, they may have the Ice River miners or something like that. They're going to still have opportunities to make some rewards off of the increased block rate and all the upgrades that are coming with Rust. Now, to continue with Ice River though, Ice River is pretty much looking like a full-on scam. I don't know exactly what's going on with them, but if we take a look real quick over here, Ice River came out and said, "Hello, fellow Redditors. We would like to make an official statement regarding the company Ice River and its product line Ice River KS ASIC Miner Series." Now, interesting about this is that the Ice River made the KS1 and the KS2, and then Bitmain comes out with the KS3. So it looks like a continuation of these miners. So people are speculating that Bitmain and Ice River have been in, cahoots or something like that together, and they've possibly been mining beforehand, which typically this is what these companies do. They mine before they actually release these systems into the public market. But if all the ASIC miners were online, our hash rate would have been a whole lot higher than where it is right now. Again, it's still sitting at that 1.11 PHs. So it would be a lot higher if ASICs were on the market right now. And they're not yet. So people calling that ASICs are going to kill the price right now, it's not happening. These ASIC miners have still yet to be released to the public, and they're not going to be fully released, including Bitmain, till after August. So we really won't be able to see anything till like November time, what's really going to happen. And typically in the past, when ASIC miners come out for a coin, it usually pumps the coin very high in the short term. But ultimately, long term, Caspa is always looking good. And no matter what happens, just understand that Caspa was built for this moment. But just taking a look at this is that this statement affects every and each of you miners, because as much as we hate to admit it, our company has an ex-employee gone rogue. The person in question is our ex-administrator. He used to work on the development of the website and ended up being our main maintenance guy. As the tides turned, he saw that the miners are getting quite the attention. Never have we believed that he of all people would betray us. In short, he stole our website and all of our social media accounts and is now using them to scam people by impersonating us. The only official website of the company is iceriver.on.com. The .io domain is under the control of a scammer. Do not send any funds to the accounts mentioned in the www.iceriver.io. This is another website that was created, and we are ready to provide all the evidence to ASIC Miner Talk in order to back our claims, and are currently trying to get in touch with the admin moderators. We'll keep you updated. So there's just a lot of things going on with Ice River. I feel bad for anyone who actually purchased the Ice River machines because I feel like you guys are in for something interesting when these do get shipped out. I believe next month or in July. So we'll see. We'll see if those are all legit miners and we'll see what's going on. But again, these ASIC miners are still not fully out into the market and people have just been really going crazy about them saying it's going to kill Kaspa and it's just not. It's not going to happen. Kaspa was built for this. And here's a chart showing the Bitcoin mining difficulty as each kind of miner was coming out. So when Bitcoin started with CPUs, it kind of just stagnated for a year, and then GPUs came out, and then the hash rate started going up, the mining difficulty started going up, and then FPGAs came out, and then ASICs come out, and then, as you could see, it just keeps going up over time. And ultimately, this is going to be the same thing with Kaspa. We're going to be with the big players, with Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, all these other proof of works that are actually not completely ASIC resistant. We're going to be with them, and ultimately our first goal is to take Litecoin. Litecoin is the coin that we're trying to be better than for sure because it was imposed as it being a digital silver, and ultimately Kaspa is the true digital silver. Taking a look at this, there's a possible Binance listing with Kaspa. There's been rumors going around. Bitmain, all their coins that they provide miners for, they all are listed on Binance, and Kaspa now is the only coin that's not listed on Binance, but they're going to have a Bitmain miner. And ultimately, we need more listings if we're going to have mining on with these ASICs and more people, especially on Bitmain, which is a more popular place where people would go buy an ASIC. We need more exchanges so that there's more off ramps for people to sell their Kaspa, buy their Kaspa, and stuff like that. We need it for more adoption so that Kaspa can get more attention. So, looking again, also, we could check over here. Let's talk about Rust. So, in the update, we said that we'll create a 4 block per second testnet, but we're discussing the possibility of skipping 4 blocks per second and going straight to 8 blocks per second. So, Rust has actually been going really, really well. And ultimately, they're going to start increasing the blocks per second on the testnet to start testing it. And they realize that they can just skip 4 and go straight to 8 because it's actually going really well. And it looks like achieving the goal of 32 blocks per second and beyond is going to be just around the corner. The Rust test upgrade to this is supposed to be in I think a week or two from now. And then the mainnet should be in the following few months, where we should have the fully fork implementation of Rust, and we'll be having a lot more blocks per second, which is going to be super good for Kaspa. And ultimately, just to explain this, when blocks per second gets increased, the emission schedule still stays the same, but what happens is the reward gets divided out by how many blocks there are. So currently the reward, I think, is like 220 Kaspa per block. But so if there's 8 blocks per second, you'll divide 220 by 8, and every block is now going to reward whatever that amount is to the miners if they find the block. So that's how it's going to work going forward as blocks keep increasing for Kaspa. The mission schedule is never going to change. It's set in stone forever, so you really don't have to worry about that at all. Here's another Rust update. Your Rust crowdfund cast at work. 48 commits into another world first breakthrough tech from these two dudes. This will let a Kaspa currency Rust node run indefinitely without accumulating blocks older than 3 days and clogging the hard drive of the host. So if you guys want to check this out, you guys could go ahead and check out Wolfie's Twitter. He has this tweet there, and you could read more into this. But essentially, this Rust node is going to be able to run indefinitely because of the tech that we actually crowdfunded for. And now it's going to be able to accumulate blocks older than 3 days. And it's not going to clog the hard drive of the host, which is huge because we don't want Kaspa to become super heavy with the fact that you have to download the whole entire block DAG and have all the ledger history on your device. Lastly, more into that Binance possible listing. So it says, hello there, Caspians. I always check the new people who follow Kaspa. And look, listing research lead of Binance US has just recently followed Kaspa. Same thing happened when I discovered the BitGet listing. Coincidence? No. So ultimately, it looks like the head listing research for Binance US has been following Kaspa and all of the developers for Kaspa, the core developers for Kaspa. So it looks like this Binance listing is very close. And if it gets listed on Binance US, I think that would be pretty crazy. And I might actually go back to Binance US. I have not been on that exchange for a very long time because there's just nothing on there that I need. And but if Kaspa gets on Binance US, definitely be considering getting back on there. But ultimately, never holding any of my Kaspa on these exchanges. Remember, always just use these as on ramps and off ramps. Buy your crypto and put them completely offline. You could do this by considering getting a Tangent wallet, which currently, if you use my code Kaspa Silver, you'll get 10% off. And currently, it's going to cost you about $40, which is super cheap. This is for 2 cards of the Tangent wallet. You could buy 3, which will cost you a little bit more. But ultimately, this is like the cheapest you can get for a cold storage wallet. So if you guys want to have a good, safe, and secure way to hold your crypto offline from exchanges, consider using Tangent using the code Kaspa Silver at the checkout. And then lastly, if you guys want to support my channel, I do have a Patreon where you guys can decide to join either of the tiers. The bronze tier gets you access to the private Discord and all these other stuff here, including tracking my crypto portfolio. And then if you get the silver tier, you guys can actually get access to giveaways and track my stock portfolio. And then the last tier gets you access to all my YouTube videos before they go live and everything else I just discussed earlier. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit longer, but we had a lot of news to cover. I hope you guys consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, don't be average, be different.